Well, Lee, thank you very much for joining us today. We're speaking to you ahead of your debut in the Champion of Champions. How much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's a tournament that I'm really looking forward to. If I'm being perfectly honest, it's a tournament that I probably thought I would never get to play in. Certainly at the stage I'm at in my career now. I thought maybe winning a tournament, although it was, not a ranking tournament, it was the seniors. Still, maybe thought my chances of winning a tournament to get into the champions had gone. So very, very pleased. Really super excited to play in it, and of course, I got a chance to take the mick out of Mark Williams because he's not in it, so it's even better.
Yeah, I'd say so. And straight in there as well, playing against Mark Selby. It doesn't get much bigger than that, does it? First match of the tournament.
No, I mean you kind of somebody said to me, "Oh, that's a tough draw," but I mean I don't I don't think you can get a good draw in that. It's I knew that I would have one of like the top five or six players. So if you're talking about O'Sullivan or Selby or Robertson or Higgins, you know, Trump, it doesn't really matter because on all of them on their day are just unbelievable players. So there was kind of no really good draws that you can possibly have. I've played Selby, I think, four times as a pro. So not going into it not having played him before. The only person I can think of that I haven't played that because this could potentially be my last tournament. Um, as a pro, the only player I've never met is Ronnie. So whereas usually in tournaments I want to stay as far away from Ronnie as I possibly can, there was a little part of me hoping that maybe that I draw him, and if this is to be my last tournament, would have been special playing him for the first time.
Well, we keep our fingers crossed. You never know. You mentioned there that you think it might be your last tournament. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, obviously now I'm not. Although I obviously don't look it. I'm 47. Going to be 47 now in February. Um, and I've been thinking, over the last couple of years, really, of when I'm maybe going to call it a day. And obviously, when you're playing and you're playing down the kind of the lower end of the rankings, and you're not really earning that great amount of money. You're putting a lot of time and effort into it, and you know, the standard on the main tour at the moment is super high. The standard at the top of the tour has always been fantastic. But the standard of players now around sort of 60 down is just exceptional. There are so many good players, and if you want to make it to the top now, you have got to be better than certainly 10, 15 years ago. I hear so many older players saying the standard of the tour is not as good when I played. Well, I can assure all those older players the standard on the tour now, especially lower down, is far better than I've ever seen. The days where you used to kind of see lower ranked players and they'd maybe make 450s, 550s in a match. It was kind of headline news. Now it's like every other match. It's the standard is super high. So I've been thinking about it for a while, and I've just agreed a job in China in a new academy. So as the things stand at the moment, I'm not looking to get back on the tour. I'm going to concentrate on my coaching, and I've got a snooker club or two snooker clubs that I'm running at the moment as well. So I've got other things that I want to do, and I still want to play. I still want to play in the seniors and the Welsh amateur events and things like that. But unless my circumstances change, the professional snooker this will probably be my last tournament I'll ever play.
Well, it's a good way to potentially go out, but at the same time, it sounds like you've got lots of exciting things happening.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you kind of can't go on forever. It's even your likes of O'Sullivan, Higgins, and Williams will at one time or another they'll have to eventually retire. I mean, they look like they could go on for another 20 years. How good they are, and still at the top of the game now. But eventually they'll even have to retire at some time. So it's something that I have been thinking about for a while. And the thing that's kind of really convinced me now is I've obviously gone to British Open with Mark Williams, and I've gone to the Irish Open with Mark coaching him, and I've also done a bit of coaching with Onyi and Andy Lee at some of the qualifiers. And it's for the first time ever that I've sat there and I'm not missing playing in the tournament. Usually when I go there and I'm at one of those tournaments, I'm desperate to get on the table. And I haven't found that at all. So it's like if it's kind of telling me this is probably the time now to call it a day.
Well, that seems like the general point of view from like players who are in a similar position to yourself. There's the sort of feeling of when you know, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like I played in after I won the seniors, I played in the Q school. Prep. I mean, look, the Q school was incredibly difficult this year. A lot of good players and a lot of great players that didn't get through. Um, my preparation for it wasn't exactly great, if I'm being perfectly honest, because 3 days before it, I went to Las Vegas, which wasn't probably wise, but it was kind of again the way that I was feeling. I wasn't really sure about entering the Q school, and then when the Q school had finished, I said to my wife, "That is as far as Q school is concerned. Now that's it. I don't want I didn't really enjoy it at all, and it's not. I don't think anybody that goes to the Q school actually enjoys it. It's just about actually just getting through it, and yeah, it's something that I don't really want to do anymore. I don't think.
Well, that's fair enough, but Q School did come after arguably your finest hour. Let's go back to that fantastic victory at the Crucible in the World Seniors. 5 months on, I think it is now. How do you look back on it?
Yeah, with great memories. Great. I had my son was with me the sort of the whole 6 days as well, which made it even more special. And um, you know, as the draw panned out, when you looked at the draw, you thought like um, you're looking at running into Stephen Hendry, Ken Doherty, David Lilly, Jimmy White. You know, but then when you get to play those players, and then to end up in the final against Jimmy at the Crucible was something really special. And I'm not getting carried away. I know it's only it's a seniors event. It's not a ranking event. But it was still really special to be playing Jimmy White, playing at the Crucible in the one table setup. Although it's not the main event, I obviously get that. It's still really special, and the way that I won it as well. You know, deciding frame, because obviously that being in the champion of champions now, that deciding frame was for quite a bit of money as well. So to win it the way I did in one hit as well, you know, uh, give me a lot of satisfaction, to be perfectly honest.
Well, and rightly so. And you mentioned there some of the players that you beat along the way, and you established yourself as a bit of a comeback king as well as the tournament went on. You did it in style, didn't you?
Yeah, it was just the kind of the first two games. I mean, I played Tony Knowles first and played quite well and won that one quite comfortably. Then I played Stephen Hendry and again played really well. Um, and then I kind of the next sort of three matches that I played, I started quite slow in all three matches, and one of the things that um, one of the things that really helped me was having my son there, because every time I looked at him every time I missed one and went back to my seat and wanted to kind of smash my cue up, I looked at him and it was kind of, well, it's not that bad, is it? There's nothing to get wound up over. Whereas in the past, I probably would have. So um, it was just, yeah, it was just a really you say afterwards it was meant to be, but it was kind of like it was because in I had to play sort of 3 matches to qualify as well against professional players, and I played Alfie Burden in the first match, and I basically put my cue. I was ready to put my cue in the case because um, he only had he had a blue on the spot, which was unmissable, to play for a red by the black, and he only wanted the blue and the red. He'd take the blue and the red 99 times out of 100. Um, and just on this particular day, he potted the blue, didn't get on the red that great, missed the red, and I managed to come back and win it on the black. So, so close to going out kind of first qualifying round, and then I've gone on and ended up winning it. So it was like if it was meant to be.
And technically, we're putting you alongside Terry Griffiths and Sean Murphy as the only qualifiers to win at the Crucible.
I don't quite know about that, but yeah, any comparisons to them, I'll happily take.
Exactly. And, if, being uber picky, you don't necessarily turn professional with the aim of winning the World Seniors as such. But I think, as we were just saying, any triumph at the Crucible, any World Championship, and the caliber of the players that you beat, it is special.
Yeah, I mean, look, I played I played in the main event 3 times. I got to the quarter final once, so I never got to experience kind of the one table setup. But for somebody who was kind of always ranked about 40, 50, 60 in the world, to play at the Crucible 3 times and kind of I think I played 6 matches, won 3, lost 3. So to kind of have a 50% win rate there, um, for somebody ranked where I've been ranked is actually not too bad. So I know it's not, obviously it's not the main tournament. You want to play in the main tournament, but it is like you said, it's still at the Crucible. It's one table, and I've played Jimmy White, Ken Doherty, and Stephen Hendry, and that's taken nothing away from playing David Lilly, who was the defending champion as well. But obviously those 3 names, they're special players, and yeah, to play those 3 there was really special.
And it's a lot more serious now, the senior tour, because it does have that feeling of sentiment and nostalgia about it. The great names of the game of the years gone by, but it's taken a lot more serious now. So again, that just epitomises how well you did and the nature of your triumph.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of knows now that for playing in that, it's as it's turned out now as well with David Lilly last year and myself this year. There's a chance to get in the champion of champions from it, and when you're talking about 15,000 for winning the tournament, and then another 12 and a half for the champion of champions, you're talking about some serious money as well. So I think everybody is kind of realizing that now. And like I seen the entries for the first qualifier, and obviously more people are turning 40 every year, so the standard is just going to get better and better. But I've seen some of the names that maybe wouldn't have bothered entering it a couple of years ago. They are realizing now, well, if David can win it and Lee can win it and get in the champions, I'm going to try and play in it, and I'm going to try and do that as well. So, there's it is a serious tournament now. There's no doubt about it.
And you are inspiring fellow players as well, by the sound of it.
I don't know about inspiring, but I think they're just looking at it and uh, kind of thinking to themselves, this which it is, this is a fantastic chance, the best chance that I'm gonna have to get into the champion of champions. Um, there's no players ranked in the top 64 in it, so it's a chance for a lot of players, not only myself but a lot of other players as well, to win the tournament and to get in the champion of champions, which is well, it just goes to show, Mark Williams is not in this tournament. So, it goes to show how difficult a tournament it is to get in.
It really does. But I bet there's been, as you were saying earlier on, I bet there's been a lot of banter flying around the fact that you're in the tournament and he isn't.
Yeah, well, it's not very often I get the chance to take the mick out of him on a snooker side of things. So, now I've got this opportunity, I am going to milk it as much as I possibly can.
Well, I don't think you can be blamed for that. And will he be joining you in Bolton this week?
I think he is, yeah. But we've got, as it works out now, we've got an exhibition on Saturday night. So I think we're gonna travel up from there. So Sunday morning, I think he's gonna be driving me up here.
Oh, that'll be nice. And well, can't talk about Mark without asking you what you made of his acting debut in the Tuckers recently.
Yeah, he was like a young George Clooney, wasn't he? I mean, I'm sure. I think he's had Spielberg and a few of the other top directors on the phone already this week. Yeah, yeah. So I think it's all after the Crucible. I think he's off to Hollywood. I think.
That's fair enough. I mean, he's a very laid back man, Mark. It does seem he can turn his hand to anything, and he did seem very at ease and in his comfort zone, didn't he? In all fairness to him.
Yeah, to be fair, he wasn't too bad. I gotta be honest. He did watch it about 850 times. Mine. It was every time I looked over, he's watching it. So, which I don't blame him to be honest. But yeah, he was. To be fair, I wouldn't tell him this, but he was pretty good. I gotta be fair.